Let's talk about the Russia-Ukraine war. Trump's obviously
Yes.
vowed to end the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. It's not an easy task. The Times is reporting that Russia won't be accepting the White House's proposal to end the war while Zelensky is in power. How can peace be achieved? Should we see Zelensky resign? Is Trump being too trusting of Putin? What's your assessment?
Well, Trump's already reacted to that, and he has threatened Putin with really the harshest sanctions that even the Europeans had never considered, and that would be an oil embargo on all countries, a complete trade embargo on all countries that buy Russian oil. And by the way, that would include some European countries that are very critical of the United States, but they still buy Russian oil and gas through third parties. So what he's doing is he's saying that every time that I slap down Zelensky and say you have to negotiate, then Russia gets emboldened. And every time Russian gets emboldened, I slap them down, and then Zelensky gets emboldened. But we're working toward a consensus, and I think everybody in Europe, the United States, everybody knows what the consensus is, that Russia will probably keep the Crimea and Donbass they stole during the Obama administration. They won't be in NATO, but they will be armed to the teeth. There'll be a DMZ, a commercial tripwire zone. And then the only outstanding issue is how far can you push Vladimir Putin back to his embarkation point on February 24th of 2022. But I think the pieces are all there. But we've got to remember, this is the worst battle since Stalingrad in World War II. There's been about 1.3 million dead, wounded, missing, sick, and killed. And it's senseless, and no one has stepped up and said, I want to do something to stop it. And our position in the United States had been, quote unquote, do whatever it takes. Well, that was just feeding a psalm or a Verdun.
Putin has ordered the largest recruitment of young men since 2011. 160,000 men are going to be called up for military service by July. Now, officials within the Russian military claim that the recruits won't be sent to fight in Ukraine. But what do you make of it? What should we make of these reports out of Russia?
He's doing that so he thinks that he can get concessions, and I don't think he's going to get them. One thing that we should remember is that he invaded leftist borders during 3 administrations. He invaded Ossetia and Georgia during the George W. Bush lame duck administration. He invaded Donbass and Crimea during the Obama administration, 2014, and he invaded and tried to take Kiev during the Biden. He did not move in the 4 years that Trump was here. And remember that we killed more Russians in Syria, 400 of the Wagner Group, than we did the entire Cold War. We got out of a missile deal. We sanctioned them. We begged the Germans not to do Nord Stream 2 pipeline. That was the only administration that sold offensive weapons that had been canceled by Obama and put on hold by Biden to Ukraine. So Putin knows that he has a record, Trump, of being unpredictable, and has been tough on him. And that kind of belies the conventional wisdom or criticism in Europe that Donald Trump is Putin's puppy. What happens is he's going back and forth, but the principal deal making is, I think everybody left and right, Europe, America, everybody knows what it is. It's just a matter of positioning the boundaries and et cetera. But I think they will get a deal this year sometime, I hope.
I hope so as well.